Hey guys, this is Rob, your online guitar teacher, and today we're going to be discussing the age-old question of should you practice with distortion on or with a clean tone? Well, there's no definitive answer, and it actually comes down to many factors depending on... Actually, there is a correct way to do this, and if you want to know what that is, keep watching. So you may have already seen my video on how to ruin your tone, and that was all about how using too much distortion is actually a bad thing, too much gain and all that. The key thing to remember is that distortion is an effect on your sound, it's not the sound itself. So the nuances of your playing should still be audible, you should still be able to tell the difference between the notes essentially, and if you can't, you're probably using too much gain. But didn't you say before that distortion adds compression, which stops the notes being louder or quieter? They're all just the same volume. Yes, that's true. All your notes when you've got distortion on tend to be about the same volume, whether you play them hard or not. But the point is, you should still be able to tell the difference between them and they should still be clear. I mean, nobody asks this about any other effect. No one says, should I be practicing with a chorus pedal on or off? Or a phaser? Or should I be using lots of delay when I'm practicing? It just doesn't come up. It does depend on what you're playing, but distortion is really like any other effect. I mean, it's something added to your sound. It's not the sound itself. It's not covering the sound. It's not making you sound better than you are, because it's just taking whatever level of guitar playing you're doing, however good that is, adding distortion to it, adding a bit of grit to that. So what you should be working on is the original sound, the original playing, and then you add distortion to kind of colour it, just like any other effect. Personally, it depends what I'm practicing. If I'm practicing technical exercises, I use a bit of gain because it adds that bit of compression which allows the mistakes to show through just that little bit stronger. So I can hear when I'm accidentally hitting a string or when I'm not hitting a note clearly, more so than with a clean tone. I don't use it so much for things like sight reading or chords or anything like that, and it does give an unfair advantage when you're playing legato because it makes those quieter notes that you've hammered on, maybe you haven't hammered them on strong enough, it makes them louder anyway, which is kind of a little bit cheating. So just remember that distortion is an effect on your sound, not the sound itself. So if you can play something with distortion, you should be able to turn the distortion off and play it without the distortion again. Because the distortion is not the sound itself. It's just an effect on your sound. So if you like these videos, don't forget to subscribe and share it with all your friends. You can also visit my website, chainsawguitartuition.net, for information on how to get in contact with me for one-on-one guitar lessons over Skype or webcam. And until then, turn up and rock out. One of the main problems is the tone gain of the Now I'm going to show you why this is a bad idea. I've recorded this riff into the computer just for you. Then I run the signal through Rack, which is a program that I have on my computer. It's very different to most guitar effects programs in that it doesn't try to emulate a pedal. So it can be a bit difficult.